Hey, good evening, everyone. Hope you guys are doing okay. It is Wednesday night, and today's video is going to be, there's no music going to be playing, but what I want to talk about is the presentations that I have been showing you guys over the last few nights. Okay, so first presentation that you guys heard with the MagnaPens, of course, both of them are with the MagnaPens, but the one that I think I presented, I want to say was Monday night. Just wanted to let you guys know that amplifier number one on that presentation was the Parasound, and amplifier number two was the Merrill Audio. Again, this is not the video that I posted last night. It is the video before, where I believe I didn't have enough volume on the MagnaPens. I believe that video was recorded at around 78 decibels. I thought I could do that with the MagnaPens, but I don't think the MagnaPen is a speaker that you can do that with. I think it needs to be fed more juice, more power for the panels to really begin to come to life. Okay, so then that's what led me to record the following video, last night's video with 80, I believe it was 84 decibels. Within that video, I utilized two amplifiers, and I know you guys are eager to know what you selected. So, first amplifier on that video was Momentum, the Momentum S250. If you selected the first one, that was the Momentum S250. Amplifier number two was the Parasound. Okay, on last night's video. There you have it. So now you know what you prefer and what you really, really like or dislike. I wanted to just say, guys, that I am finding that the ARC Ref 6 SE tube preamplifier is working magic with the panels, with the MagnaPen 20.7s. I find that it just wakes them up. I really do like what happens to the presentation when the preamplifier is added. But as you know, the preamplifier only has approximately, 30 hours of use, around there. So it's not really where it needs to be. We know that. And this is why if you find a little bit of not muddiness, but a little bit of lack of articulation maybe at times, it's because, the tubes are new. It just came back from audio research, and so it needs approximately 200 hours. So as you know, within the first 200 hours, the tubes need to settle. They go through this phase of up and down, up and down. One day they'll sound better, the next day they'll sound horrible. So that's what's going on with the preamplifier right now. But I still believe, my gut feeling, okay, that a tube preamplifier helps the MagnaPen speaker. Okay, now I'm not an expert when it comes to MagnaPen. I want to say that I have had them very briefly. I haven't had them very long. And they have been extremely, extremely impressive, to say the least. What I can share with you guys with my short time with the MagnaPen is, number one, that speaker needs the right amplification. This is nothing new. You guys know about that. It needs the right power to really come to life. I believe if you connect the wrong amplifier, you're going to be very disappointed with the speaker. And it's not the speaker's fault. It is just the design. It needs a lot of current. It needs a lot of power to light up those panels. Okay. Another thing that I found out is that the MagnaPen, guys, is a speaker, in my opinion, that does really well with a lot of different types of music. But it doesn't like music that is a little too dynamic. When there is a lot of things happening, there is vocals, there is bass, there is mid bass, there is high frequencies, all mixed into a certain type of song, like let's say rock. There's a lot of things going on, right? the panel tends to just break up, in my opinion. Okay, the panel breaks up, and what happens is when the panel breaks up, it doesn't seem to be accurate, clear. The vocals suffer. Okay, because if you think about it, the bigger part of the Magnepan with the bigger panel, that part has the mid bass, the bass, mid range, all of that together. And what happens is when the bass begins to pound the panel and mid bass, that panel is also in charge of creating mid range vocals. And I feel like when the speaker has so much going on, you can easily hear at times, especially with certain types of music, how the mid range can suffer. That's what I believe is one of the knocks on the design itself. It cannot stay composed, for lack of a better word, with some types of music. I think that's one flaw that the design has. I have tried all sorts of things, and I can still tell you that the result is the same. Okay, it really continues to be the same, and I haven't really been successful at curing that issue. Now, this happens again with only certain types of music. It is not a perfect speaker, and there's no such thing as a perfect speaker. We know that, but it does give you a lot of fun. I would say the Magnepan is a speaker that is a lot of fun. I will call that speaker a very fun speaker, very lively with the right amplification, definitely worth the $14,500 MSRP, definitely worth, the effort and the time to feed it the right amplification and the right cabling. By the way, Nordos works amazing, guys. If you have Magnepan, highly recommend Nordos. Really, Nordos adds the sparkle that I think the panel benefits from. So far, I have not been impressed using my Momentum HD preamplifier with the Magnepan. I'm not going to say it sounds bad. I'm just nitpicking here. I think I prefer the ARC Ref 6 SC, and it has to do with the synergy that we talked about. At this level, guys, it is really all about synergy. It really is. It has nothing to do with one component being better than the other. I think it's just putting everything together and the right ingredients so that the result is what it should be. What else? Some of you guys, have had your opinion about the Magnepans. Some of you guys love the way it sounds, and I do too. But I will say that it's very difficult. It is extremely difficult to compare a Magneplanar with, against a tweeter woofer type of speaker. It's too difficult, guys. It's something that, I don't know. It's like I said, it's comparing a race car to a four-door sedan. It's kind of hard to do, guys. It's just possible. It's really so different. They're so different, and they do things so differently. But at the same time, they do things, one does things that the other does not, and vice versa. So it's really choosing what you listen to and then finding the speaker that best suits your needs. There has been a lot of talk about other brands, that people would like me to try. But of course, as you know, guys, I do my homework before I bring a speaker over. There were several speakers that I had contemplated. As you know, the Magnepan is what I call my number 2 speaker. I want to keep 2 speakers on hand at all times. The Magnepan is going to be the number 2. And I had been in search of my number 1 speaker. My number 1 speaker was a speaker that I went through a lot of hurdles. I selected 3 different speakers. Okay. And unfortunately, for one reason or the other, I couldn't close out deals. Couldn't close out the right deals for me. And so several speakers fell off the table, and I was not able to do what I needed to do. But I am happy, though, that I happened to bring something that was also on my radar, and is going to be speaker number 1 for me. Going forward, I plan to really master this speaker and really give it everything I've got, all my energy into making it better. It is a special speaker, I would say. And if you guys remember the channel, you guys know I already had this speaker. So without further delay, here is my new speaker. This is the new Alexia 2 in the beautiful color that you see when you go to wilsonaudio.com and you look at the Alexia 2. This is the color you guys see on the page. All right. So this is Wilson Audio Alexia 2. I find it it's just beautiful. It's such a beautiful speaker, guys. It really is. I mean, now you have an idea of the room, more or less. I have never contemplated a speaker in any other color than black. And I am so happy that I did not go with black. I am very happy. The top, I mean, this is different. This is not the same as the version 1 Alexia. This is not painted, because this material cannot be painted. This is a certain type of composite that Wilson Audio simply cannot paint. And there are so many more adjustments on here, guys. If you see it, there is like tiny adjustments that you can do on the tweeter. This is something that you were able to do on the Alexia 1, but you couldn't do the same level of minute increments. So another thing that you guys might be able to see is the speaker looks quite similar to the version 1. You can see a picture right now on the screen of the first one that I had, the Alexia 1 in purple. Okay, but look at the difference here. If you pay attention to the cabinet, you see how it's not really a perfect rectangle. You see how it just is curved on the sides a little bit. So what that does is essentially it added 11% of internal volume to the mid-range, to the base cabinet. So there's 11%, an 11% increase in that regard. Also, if you see the side, the speakers it's actually slanted a little bit back 3 degrees. So it's not exactly straight up and down. This part here is a little bit like tilted back. I don't know if I can show this. I don't know if you're able to see it, but it is a little tilted back. It's about 3 degrees. Biggest change here that the speaker went through is this part. This part right here, the mid-range module, it has an increase internal volume of 26%. So inside this module, there's 26% more volume than the Alexia 1. And that should make a tremendous difference when it comes to the mid-range. The mid-range driver here is the same as the Alexia 1. This is actually very tight to take off. This is the same mid-range driver as the Alexia 1. But the thing that does change, that I must say, is this. This here is actually a different. It looks the same when you look at it to the naked eye, but that's a different tweeter than the Alexia 1. That is actually the 5th generation soft dome tweeter. This is the same tweeter they use in the WAM. It is the same tweeter they have on the Wilson Audio DAW that I had here. So there's going to be more air, more detail, more refinement. Okay. The speaker around the back is obviously something extremely beautiful. I mean, if you take a look at that, I mean, you can see it's like a glass now. You can literally remove that without a screwdriver. You can just pop it off and go and get to work and change your resistors. Okay. And you know what? Overall, guys, I mean, I really do like the look of the speaker. I really think it's a beautiful looking speaker. Guys, if you're a Wilson Audio owner, take it from me. This is my 4th pair of Wilson Audio. Do not do critical listening with the grills on, please. Don't do that. I've been doing that today, and then 3 hours later, I took them off. It's not even close, the difference in sound. I mean, there is so much more extension on the tweeter. Much air. It goes almost, you get this surround sound effect, if it makes any sense, when you take off the grills, that you really don't get to enjoy when you have the grills on. So if you have Wilson Audio, stop listening with the grills on. Don't be lazy. Take them off when you listen to music critically, and then put them on when, so that your wife doesn't tell you they look ugly with the grills off. I know that could be the typical comment. But anyway, the speakers are still going through the motions when it comes to the articulation. They are a little compressed right now. They sound a little muffled. I actually found the Sashas a lot more articulate right now, and obviously because the Sasha had about 500 hours worth of playtime, these don't. They have only 5 hours maybe of playtime, so they have to go through changes, and I understand that. But I am very excited to burn these things in, break them in, whatever you want, however you want to say it, and then get them to really, really hit the ground running. Anyway, guys, with that said, I just wanted to let you all know that this week I am going to finally present to you guys what could potentially be the end game amplifier for me. Okay, I can't say 100% sure if that will be the case because I haven't owned it, but right now my instinct is telling me it probably will be. Probably will be the last amplifier that I own. That does not mean that I will not try more amplifiers because, that's my passion, is amplification. But I think that amplifier, when it comes and it arrives this week, I don't really think I'll ever move it because it really is a special machine. That's all I'm going to say. So this week, towards the end of the week, either Friday night or Saturday night, be on the lookout for the video and get ready to hear something special and something it has taken me so much work, so many years to be able to find it and finally bring it home. And I plan to hold on to that amplifier for quite some time. Thank you guys for listening to me and for subscribing. Please hit the like button. It helps me. It helps the channel. Okay, I really appreciate you guys following me. I'm going to continue to give you guys advice. I'm going to continue to give you my impressions also of how the DAW compares to the Alexia 2, because now I am in a position to be able to talk about both. Again, I stay away from he said, she said, I read a magazine, you read a magazine, and this is what. No, forget about that. I'm going to tell you what the differences are between the DAW and the Alexia 2. Same room, pretty much the same equipment. Stay tuned for that. Take care and good night.